TV.
Hey guys, so
Continue for 1 mile.
yeah, I am in Portland. Just got done delivering a car up here in Portland and one in Woodward. Now I'm headed back south. I've got pickup in Lebanon and one in Albany. tell when the Oregon State Police is out here a bunch when they actually have parking spots for them on the side of the freeway. I'm kind of amazed on how many of these new cars don't have dirt seats. today's been a very good day. Nobody's gotten completely idiotic on me here. mile or two, I think. And we might start getting clear of this. It's nowadays with the amount of crime and the amount of vehicles and stuff like that on the road, it just seems like the police just can't seem to do the small but important stuff. You know, people are just kind of, they don't care. It's like the car up here has got a smoked license plate cover, and that's illegal. You have to be able to see the license plate, and any type of product, or I don't know how you want to say it, that covers up the license plate so that a police officer can't see it is illegal. But for little things like that anymore, they just don't care. If you're not doing 105 on the freeway, they don't care to pull you over. That irritates me about Google too. Obviously, hey Joe, I'll take your word for it. This is a everyday occurrence through here, and most of the time there's no accident or anything. It's just the amount of traffic that are trying to sort through this area. You got a lot of people that work south of Portland, and they drive to Portland every day. I mean, there's people that drive from Eugene every day. It's 80 some miles or something like that. Eugene is the 295 and Portland's in the 300s. Or that made absolutely no sense. 190s, sorry, 195. And Portland's in the 300s. So, you know, depending on where they work, it's 100 miles for them to go to work every day. And there's many people that do it. It's not just a few. There's a bunch of people that live in Eugene or other outlying areas that are that far away or close to it. So if you guys weren't here for the beginning, I don't think anybody was here for the beginning. I am coming out of Portland. Dropped one in Woodburn, where I stopped at Fleet Sales West and picked up some equipment for the truck that we needed. And then took one pretty much just the outskirts of downtown of Portland. And now I'm headed back to Lebanon at AA Towing to pick up a Equinox, I believe it is. And then I've got a Prius to pick up at Caliber in Corvallis, I believe it. So, still got a little time to go here. Another 2 or 3 miles, I think, and this gets sorted. It's just weird how just all of a sudden it stops. See, riding on the shoulder with the motorcycles is illegal. It's point blank illegal. But at the same time, should they really be punished and not be able to go because they're smaller and can fit through places that, you know, obviously I can't? We're not used to that here, the lane splitting and stuff, which, like I say, it's illegal. As far as I know, it's illegal. So they may have changed that. I have not seen anything. Nobody's told me otherwise. But people in Oregon aren't used to it. So we're not looking down the white line to see where motorcycles are. You know, we look to see if there's a car and can I move over. And if we look in the mirror and we see a motorcycle, well, and the whole traffic's going like this, we don't expect them to be doing, you know, 10 miles faster than what the cars are, and we're going to come over and we're going to kill them probably. Yeah, Joe. It in the evenings and stuff after the rush hours and all. This is clear. I mean, you're doing 55 or 65, 70 miles an hour through here. And I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if another lane will help. I mean, you're kind of running out of room, and we can go, you know, in a little bit. Definitely can't go to the right. But would 4 lanes make a difference? I don't know. There are parts of I-5 that are 4 lanes. The way I think the master plan is to have I-5 3 lanes from border to border, at least 3 lanes. And then they're also talking about Highway 97, which is in Central Oregon, that being at least 2 lanes border to border. Take some of the pressure off of I-5 here. You don't have the steep mountains on 97 like you do here on I-5, down towards, you know, Medford, Grants Pass area, Roseburg. And there's less cities, speed limit's 60 or 65 in a lot of places on 97 now. So you're doing kind of the same speed here, except obviously you don't have off ramps and stuff. You get into towns, you got stoplights and the north-ish section of Portland has an HOV lane, but as far as I know, that's the only HOV lane that I know of in the entire state. So we don't really have HOVs for the most part. And of course, trucks like me, even if you're multi-passenger, you can't use those. At least up here you can't, as far as I know. And that was the end of the speed up. I drove, forgive me, I drove for Swift for a while. 9 months, I think it was. Didn't like how they ran their stuff, so, and they didn't give me the time off they promised, and the pay was substandard. And anyway, won't go there. But yeah, I worked for Swift for a while, OTR, and I've been through Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio. I was stationed in San Antonio for a while, down into LA, you know, that area, driven with the big truck. And I find this traffic up here in Portland worse than any of those. I don't know what the deal is, but so the new truck. So far, for a truck, it's definitely the best truck I've ever had. Obviously the newest. It's 9,377 miles right now. The newest truck before this I ever had was a 12-ton International, and I got it with over 60,000 miles on it. So it wasn't, you know, brand new to me. Bed works great. The only issue I'm coming up with is the passenger side seat won't hold air. So when my son rides with me, and soon to be my girlfriend's going to be riding with me also, the seat, they have to put air in the seat about every 20 minutes because it flattens all the way down. Otherwise, no issues at all. I've got the AC's cold, other than the horsepower. It's got like the 270 horse in it, programming. I'm under the impression that we can change that with just a computer program. We don't have to do anything physically to the motor. But sure, it might go faster up the hills, but otherwise, yeah, I don't mind it. Takes off from the light fine. Rides really nice. First air ride truck other than my semi that I've ever had. Air brakes, all that.
There's a stall vehicle ahead.
Compared to the wrecker, it's oh yeah, lost a front tire. I mean, it's smoother than the wrecker. The wrecker weighs almost as much as this does. The bed is smooth. The winch is fast. The visibility out the window is great. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the truck. I'm very happy that we've got it. And just like that, we are out of the traffic. Sure, now, Swift. Okay, thank you. Let me go. I was waiting for him to come over, and he didn't. Guess is probably that's a longer term Swift driver, which there are ones that are there that are just, you know, they're happy with it. Cruise control set. this backup here on the northbound side wasn't here when I came up. Let me rephrase that. I wouldn't know if it was there or not because I didn't come this way. Stopped at Woodburn and had me go up Highway 99 for a little while and then come in back there. So at least back there that it wasn't. So yeah, we're moving again. Good. I'll put my sunglasses on because I'm not really going to read the comments too much. Truck stop that's coming up, I'm assuming it's an extremely popular truck stop because quite often there's actually a backup onto the freeway of trucks trying to get off the freeway. The other side was so bad that they actually completely redid the on-ramp system. They lengthened it and everything so that it was trucks weren't on the freeway, coming back out onto the freeway, being backed up. But when the truck stop was put in, there's actually two of them. There's the TA and let's see, TA and Flying J. The off-ramp system was built for a side road. Well, when they put those truck stops in, they didn't improve the on and off ramps, so they were extremely close to the freeway and it's very, very short. So there's just not enough room. There's no traffic lights and it's all stopped. So when you have that much traffic trying to get into those two places, and they're right up against the freeway, so their entrances are very short distance from where the on-ramps come in. So it makes it really hard for people to get in there. I turned 50 in March, so my heavy opportunities are pretty much starting to an end. I did work for Cascade West up in Oak Ridge for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I can't remember. That was that company no longer exists. So talk bad about them. I try my darndest not to talk bad about companies and such. It's just not. There's no reason for it, in my opinion. But all he would do was the non-preference stuff. I started working for him and got him to start doing, more local service calls and state farms and stuff like that. But he had a cab over Peterbilt, I think. It was a homemade unit. And since there's nobody else up there, OSP let him keep using it, even though you're supposed to have a factory-built unit now. They don't want homemade units anymore because most of the time they're not safe. or you can't certify them safe, I guess. I don't know. But we had a burn trailer up there. It was carrying rolls of tea bag paper. So they were like, 18 inches across on a spool, and it caught fire. So we had to sit on that for a couple days, make sure that it was out, and then we were going to offload it. And he decided he was going on vacation. Now it's just me and him, unless we have an emergency, and then we hire people around the city. But he's like, well, just go ahead and take the truck up there. I don't have a CDL anymore, and I didn't at the time. And he wants me to take a twin stick, cab over, no front brakes, no power steering, up Willamette Pass to go haul this burn trailer back down. No. Well, yeah, I tried it, and I could get through one gear shift, but I couldn't get through the second one. But so I did some heavy stuff. Enjoyed it. I really did. It was fun because most of our stuff, Highway 58 is a 2-lane highway that comes down off of a mountain. So a lot of rollovers, trucks going over the embankments. So there was a lot of challenging stuff. That's one of the things that I like about towing, is it is challenging. But my body, I've got bad knees. When I was working for Swift, I hurt my back. So it's not just doing normal recoveries with an F550 is challenging at times. I enjoy the hell out of it, but my body just doesn't really like it afterwards. And we have another slowdown coming up, looks like. Maybe not. So these are the Woodburn factory stores up here on the left, on the right. I don't know if you can see them with the phone or not. A lot of, name brand places and stores I'll probably never shop at. Fleet Sales West is up here. They're the Miller dealer. And then outside of Salem to the east is Centium Wrecker Service, or Sales, I guess it is. They were bought out by, I think it's Idaho Wrecker Sales. So I'm not sure what all is going on there. I did have a bad experience with them, but that's all I'm going to get into about it. And that was 20 years ago, 18 years ago, so I don't even know if the same people are there or any of that stuff, so I can't say really anything bad about them now because I don't know. But those are the two major ones. Roseburg Towing is, I don't know, maybe kind of a dealer. I mean, they buy Kalar flatbeds, I believe, is what they're buying. I know they've got one that's for sale right now that has a Kalar, depends on how you want to pronounce it, bed on it. They just went back east and got another 650 and a 550, but they keep their trucks only for a certain amount of time and then sell them off. And they're usually extremely good shape, and they're well taken care of. Most of the 550s are, I think, are 4-wheel drive. They have winch attachments on the front. They're B&B Industries. which I love the way B&B is designed. Everything just seems so heavy duty with them. I've never operated one, so I honestly can't tell you, but it just looks like a extremely beefy tow body. A couple companies in Eugene have bought some of their stuff. Thanks, Joe. I'm doing my best. Trying to cut some videos down so they're not quite as long. I know the hour-long videos are a little much. So I'm trying to, maybe do one vehicle or split them up or something like that. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate your subscription. Glad you're watching these. Why am I at 62? I was at 65. I hope you have a good day. Happy 4th coming up. If I don't talk to anybody about that from then, till then. I've got the mount for our tablet. I'm going to get that put in here. And then I'll be streaming off the tablet. That way I don't have to shut the stream down to be able to either look at things or when I have to use the phone. Got one up here on the shoulder. Now I know the move over law varies from state to state in a lot of cases. If you come into Oregon, our move over law states that any vehicle that's sitting on the side of the highway that is showing any sign of an emergency, the four-ways on, the hood up, triangles, any of that type of stuff, you are required to slow down and move over. So it doesn't matter if it's a Prius, a semi, a tow truck, a fire truck, police car, it doesn't matter. If it's sitting on the side of the road and it's showing some signs of emergency, the law states you have to slow down or move over. I think it's 10 miles under the posted speed limit. I think. So if I'm wrong, I apologize. But just scoot over, guys. It's not... And I'm saying this to people that maybe watch this later. I know a lot of my subscribers are people that either tow or have been in the industry. So you guys know to scoot over, but it's so dangerous out here. But I appreciate you watching, Michael. It's fun doing the videos and a pain at the same time. I've got to admit it. I'm sure most YouTubers probably feel the same. And I'm not trying to make money, six-figure income or something like that off of this. Doing the towing videos, I won't. I guarantee it. Unless, I'm not Ron Pratt. I don't have the heavies. I don't do the big recoveries and the big accidents and stuff like that. So, I know where my place is the wrong word, but so yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, sticking around when I'm taking my time off or not being good at uploading. I was doing them every day when I was running the wrecker, and even I started to feel like it was extremely repetitive. So I'm trying to stay away from that repetitive side of it and just make it so that it's a little more interesting. I mean, some people can sit there and just, watch the same thing over and over again. Different vehicles, different settings, stuff like that. That's one reason I like towing, is because it's things are different on each call. But I'm working on trying to figure it out, trying to make better content. The video that I posted yesterday, it's got the best thumbnail that I've ever done, in my opinion at least. And it's right now one of my worst performing videos. At least it was this morning before I left. So yeah, I don't know. My boss doesn't help with funding for the channel or everything. This is all out of my own pocket, and which I completely understand. I'm not thinking that he should or any of that stuff. But so getting to the 1,000 is going to help. I know like I say, I'm not going to make hundreds of dollars a day or something like that, but just to help. I need a new camera. I want a new camera, I should say. Microphone. There's a list, an Amazon list that shows what I'm trying to get. Linked down in the description of pretty much all my videos. With the new monetization stuff that apparently I haven't been accepted to yet, because I don't see it on my page. You guys can donate when that's available. You can pay to follow the channel, or I don't know how it all works. So if you're not interested in buying a piece of equipment, or you don't have the money, which believe me, I understand. I am broke. But a couple dollars or something like that. I've thought about doing a Patreon. I've actually signed up for it. But what am I going to give you guys on Patreon that's going to be special compared to what I'm doing? Sure, I can do a walk around video, but that's like a one-off thing. But what can I give you other than maybe seeing the videos sooner? I guess I don't know. So for now, I'm just kind of tabling the Patreon stuff. Just concentrating on doing my job, making sure I'm safe. Trying to enjoy what I'm doing. I know it's probably, not smart letting people know that there's an end date to this, but I'm looking at maybe 5 more years. My girlfriend wants to start traveling in 5 years. So I have to figure out something else to do that I can earn money while I'm gone for weeks and up to a month at a time. I can't run a tow truck and take that much time off and expect to make any money. But I've got another channel. Actually, I've got 2 more channels. I have a channel that I was using for my American Truck Simulator. There's quite a few videos on there if you're interested. They're old videos, they're years old, so they're not really relevant to probably the current version of the game. And then I have my overlanding channel. I think they're linked in the description, I'm not sure. I'll have to check that later. But so I'll be doing more, overlanding stuff, camping, exploring, going to places, taking videos, and posting that stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can head over there. That one's Excalibur Overland. You can see my poor truck that I'm trying to make it work so it'll start being able to go up in the mountains. I am going to the, I know completely off the topic of towing here, but I am going to, hopefully, am going to the Overland Expo in Redmond next month. 7th through the 9th, I think it is. My plan is to shoot some video while I'm over there. I'm not, it's easier to do this where I just put my hat, my video camera on my head and I just do my stuff, What I'm talking now is probably the most I talk like ever. And it's just, I'm speeding. Slow down. Interacting with people is easier for me than just kind of shooting, blank stuff where I'm just, oh, well, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So, but that'll be on my my overlanding channel. But I plan on running this truck. We have a lease on it. It's for 5 years, and I plan on running this truck at least till the lease is up. Then I don't know what I'm doing to make money wise. So I've got 5 years to figure out something that is going to make me enough money to basically retire with, my own business that is able to earn revenue while I'm gone, and not something that's huge or takes a lot of brain power, because not necessarily as smart as I used to be. Thank you, Warner, for getting over. I appreciate that. So we've got 23 miles till our exit. We're shooting for the 233. And we're at the 256 right now. So got another one on the side of the road up here. Looks like maybe lost a tire on the trailer. To 80 degrees right now. A little hazy, not too bad. Some really good thunderstorms building to the north and the east. Unfortunately, Lane County and the Eugene area doesn't get a whole lot of thunderstorms, which sucks because I really like them. So if you couldn't read the signs, this is Salem. I apologize. State capital of Oregon. Nothing exciting. The lottery's here. That's cool. Of course, we have the state fairgrounds. Otherwise, I don't know a whole lot about Salem. go there very often. When we bought our first wrecker, the fuel gauge didn't work. We ran out of fuel right here. Of course, I was driving it. Boss had took me up, and he was following me back. And luckily, at the time, we were using Pacific Pride for our fuel cards, and there's one just right over the hill here, so he was able to run and get back on the road again. The fuel gauge was still reads a quarter of a tank when it's empty, but that's our old GMC that got totaled. We got a video out there on it. 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago now, I think. I think I've got the date in the description on when it happened. July 2nd, I know that.
There's a slowdown ahead.
I think you're a little slow, dear. This usually isn't a pinch area where, you know, traffic goes like this and we're stopped. I don't think I've ever. Yeah. Vehicle behind the Ford up there in the left lane, it's already got a different colored front end on it, and right on the bumper of that Ford, it's like, well, we know how you got different colored front end. Ray's truck, Ray's Towing out of Eugene. They are the primary AAA contractor for the area. There are other providers for AAA, but I think Ray's is the only preferred provider. Last I knew. Are you kidding me right now? I don't know if you guys can see that, but that car just went around the semi. On the shoulder. And I can honestly say it was not an Oregon plate. Broke down 20 years ago, maybe, right here with an old International. When I worked for Screaming Eagle, I was doing similar to this, transport, and the dipstick tube fell out of the oil pan. And so started throwing oil out the side of the oil pan, so I had to stop and had a car on the back. Had two cars on the back. Luckily, one drove. So we were able to get the car off the Stinger and drive it. See, like right here. What was that slowdown for? Absolutely nothing. Now we're back up to pretty much highway speed again. Coming up to a place that's called the Enchanted Forest, and it is, I guess it's classified as an amusement park, but it is based on fairy tale characters and such, Alice in Wonderland, and similar like that. It's got log flume, I think it still has. Mirrors. Last time I was there, it had a water fountain show, and it's really cool little place to go to. A couple years ago, and on top of the COVID, obviously that was shut down, but then we had an ice storm that came through on top of it and damaged it. So they basically did a campaign to, they needed help because they've been shut down, so they didn't have any income coming in. They had a whole bunch of damage from the ice storm and no way to repair it. So Oregon, because people from all over the state came together and donated so that they could open back up again. And I thought that was really cool. And every time I go by there now, the place is packed. It's a great place to take your kids. If you guys come through Oregon, you come up I-5 into Salem, stop, please. Show them some love. Enjoy the visit. You're up in the woods, and I think they've got a roller coaster too, I think. But yeah, it's worth the stop. There used to be an actual, I guess that would be a theme park, is what Enchanted Forest is, and then the amusement park was next door, but it closed a few years ago, many years ago now, I guess. But the Enchanted Forest has stayed open, and it's really cool. So yeah, give them a look them up and see what they can offer you. If it's something that you're interested in, please do stop. Beautiful mural here. Eagle flag. Very interesting built truck. Still 80 degrees outside. It's like we always have haze now, which very disappointing, especially with the amount of wind we have. It's weird because the wind is almost always blowing here, so you would think that the haze would be a lot less, but I don't know. I know we got some smoke coming down from Canada. Prayers are with all those guys up there dealing with all of those forest fires. I've noticed over the last week or so that there's been a buildup of U.S. and state forestry firefighting units around Lane County, and even some down in Douglas County. It seems like the winter here was wetter, but they say it wasn't, so we're already into moderate fire danger in most places. miles an hour in a 65 zone. Okay. So this rest area here is really nice. You can actually get right down onto the river. It's just on the other side of it here. And you can cross over between them. There's actually a road that goes underneath the freeway here that you can go to one or the other. Into the trees. Like I say, you can basically drive up to the river or walk down to it. It's a very nice, easy slope down there. On this side, on the northbound side, it's more canal-y, I guess. They've reinforced the bank and stuff. I think this one sits a little higher. I think that's the reason behind it. I don't think you'll be able to see it with the phone, but it's the Cinean River. They've actually closed some of it off, and you can't get down there with the car. You can walk down there. Used to be an off-ramp right here, but then you had this off-ramp, and then you had this overpass with its own off-ramp, so they said, why do we need that off-ramp? So they took it out. Bit along I-5 in the southern Willamette Valley here. A lot of agricultural. During the first part of the spring or mid-spring, I guess, you'll drive through here and there's just fields and fields of nothing but clover for the honeybees. And you drive through and it smells so good. It's like driving down the freeway shouldn't smell like this. Beekeepers ever watch this, y'all need to stop putting your hives so close to the road. There's been times where, not on the freeway, but on back roads and stuff like that, you know, it's like I fly through an entire hive, it seems like, as much as I hit. So I like the bees, so move them further away so we don't hit them as bad. So that Love's truck stop there is new. A couple, a few years now new, but it's one of the newer ones on I-5. Coming into Albany. One thing that I remember about Albany as I was growing up, we used to show horses, and one of our big shows was up here. And you always knew when you were getting close to Albany because they had a pulp paper mill. So the smell would just cover the entire area. So you knew when you were in Albany. And it's closed and since been torn down. It was up here on the right by the where the container crane is now. It's coming up here.
There's a stalled vehicle ahead.
There's no way I could scoot over. There's too much traffic. So I brought down under 50 miles an hour. You can't always scoot over, and I understand that. And there's another one. Multiple ones. Wow. Like they lost a tire. Support your FFA, guys. It's an amazing program.
In 2 miles, take exit 233 toward Lebanon, Sweet Home.
It's Lebanon, but okay, you want to call it Lebanon, I guess. This is not a Middle Eastern country. A country or city? Well, country, isn't it? I don't know. Burgerville here. This is supposedly, I guess, the farthest south Burgerville is. I'm not super familiar with them. Ate there once. Good food. Locally sourced, according to all the stuff that I've read on there while we were there. Got to go into town a little ways to get to it.
Toward Lebanon, Sweet Home.
The old fairgrounds used to be back here. It was...
Take exit 233, then keep right before.
It was an amazing complex. It was built using old style timber construction. The beams holding up the main building were like 6x6 or better timbers, and it was so fun to go there. It had the wood bleachers, and it was all painted white, and they kept it, at least the inside. I can't remember what the outside was nowadays, but the inside was always painted white and very beautiful inside. Of course, back then I didn't think of it that way, but they did a really good job with it. And then, as things do, they outgrew their fairgrounds, and so they built a new one, which, great. It's all steel and very industrial versus feeling like I was in somebody's barn at their house. That's the way I felt when I was at the Albany Fairgrounds. And then they completely tore it down. I don't... They could have done so much with that because the construction was so solid. But I'm not in the position to make that kind of decisions for people. So, unfortunately, I don't know how well it comes through the camera, but pretty good thunder cloud building over there. Storm cloud. Walmart here, the biggest coastal I have ever seen. I don't know if this is kind of their distribution center or what, but it is huge. But this area of Oregon is extremely fertile and lots of agriculture. So maybe they need that much room. So you can get to Bend this way. If you're coming from the north, you either cut over on 84 and come down 97, or you can cut over this way, or you go down to 126 or 22 out of Salem. Is that what that one is? I know it's 20, 22, and 126 all lead to Bend. So either way you go on those, you end up over there. Beautiful drives. I think it's 20. I think it's this here. It's limited on the length of vehicle that can go on there because some of the turns are extremely tight and extremely narrow. 53-foot trailers aren't allowed, I don't think. And doubles are only allowed up to a certain length. I think maybe twin 28s, maybe. But again, I'm not sure. Our local Christian radio station. Play some really good music. So of course, when I get to AA, I'll have to shut the stream off because I've got to use the phone. But I'll probably start it back up afterwards to go to Caliber Collision, and then the trip home to Copart. So if you guys want to stick around and see more of the area, feel free. It's kind of why I'm doing this. Apparently to hear myself talk also. But I know a lot of, well, there's a couple guys. I say a lot. I've only got 800 subscribers. There's a couple guys that really have talked about wanting to see more of the landscape and stuff. So this is a way that, you know, I can answer questions, and I don't need the watch hours. That's the weird thing is I'm getting like an average of at least 1,000. That was almost a burp. 1,000 watch hours every 28 days. So my watch hours aren't a problem. It's getting the subscribers is the problem. I want to do a giveaway at 1,000. I want to give away it's probably going to be like a $90 tow truck model that I want to give away to one of the first 1,000 subscribers. And I've already talked to the boss, and they're on board with that one. At least they're going to help me pay for that one. But yeah, I want to try to entice people to subscribe. Like I say, I'm not a filmmaker by any means, and I don't want to be one. I'm a tow truck driver first, and then the YouTube is second. If I had to, for some reason, had to give up the YouTube, it'd be no big deal. If I had to give up on towing, well, then I'd have to give up on both, because right now towing is the YouTube channel. Little old restaurant used to be here. I think it's a house now, which is a shame. COVID took so many businesses, the mom and pop businesses, and people that relied on local shopping and stuff like that. Just it devastated them. I mean, we even got hit kind of hard with it. We had to really tighten our belts and work at making sure that we had money to cover the bills. And the way we're running right now, I'm running the Copart stuff, our other flatbed is running IAA stuff, and then we're waiting for the wrecker to come out so we can put somebody on that, and then they're going to run the local stuff. So we're trying to expand out a little bit help the company make a little bit more money. I don't think we're 5G out here, so I'm sure the SIG's probably degrading a little bit, and I apologize for that if it is. I want to get a wee boost for the truck. That way I can hopefully have better cell, and maybe the picture will stay better for longer. The problem I have is there's no place to put antennas on this truck other than either cutting into the roof, which we really don't want to do, or run magnetics. I don't personally have a problem with magnetics, but they put the CB slot in the top of the truck, in the cab here. It's got the bungee, and it's made for a two-way radio of some sort, but there's no mounts anywhere. Not in the mirrors, not in the mirror arms, the roof, nothing. So it's like, did you guys forget something? Then what's the point of having the CB slot if you're not going to give me a place to put a CB antenna? I think that I doubt it can be made a law or anything else like that, but my personal opinion is every big truck out there should have CB antenna, or CB, obviously with an antenna too. But we see these big giant wrecks on the freeways in the winter, and dust storms and smoke and stuff like that. And we see all these semis involved. Isn't it common sense that if you have a CB in your truck and you see something happening, you start relaying it down the freeway and all the big trucks start pulling over? Because sure, that can cause a secondary accident, a car running into the back of a semi or something like that. But you don't have semis barreling into multi-car accidents at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. I mean, I've played that game when I was a kid with my Hot Wheels. And it's a big difference when you're talking people's lives. So I'm sorry, if you do not have a CB in your big truck or even your tow truck, in my opinion, you are failing. Because that CB can save lives. It gets trucks to slow down. It gets them to pull off the highway if there's something going on. And it keeps these big accidents, or at least reduces the amount of vehicles involved in these big accidents. I mean, look at some of the pictures from the wrecks that have happened over the last few years. How many semis are involved in those? And the amount of carnage, sheer destruction of cars. I mean, you have a car that runs into the back of a semi. Say it's a Windstar or, you know, some sort of minivan, and it's already smashed into the back of a truck doing probably 30 miles an hour. Then you have another truck, because he doesn't have a CB and he's not listening to it, with people yelling that there's a major accident, you need to stop, and he runs into a family of kids and accordions that into the back of that semi. All because you didn't spend $100 or less on a CB that you could put in the truck yourself so that you could save somebody's life. In my opinion, if you do not have a CB in your semi or in your tow truck, you are failing. Now, I know companies, I'm not talking about the drivers, you know, because obviously companies say, well, no, you can't do that, or no, I'm not going to pay for it, or something like that. You can get a handheld. I mean, there's plenty of ways. If you can save one person's life, or a family, or, you know, something, to just to spend that, you know, 50, 60, $100, it's worth it. Very much worth it. So, done with my rant. I apologize. Once in a while I do these. There's doo-doo again. Start that as a drinking game, I think. But now, full disclosure here, my CB radio is not in this truck yet. Like I say, I'm working on it, trying to figure out where I'm going to do an antenna. The antenna that was on the wrecker, I've got 3 of them. There's nothing wrong with them except for the fact that the coax is probably about 5 feet too short now, because I'm going through a super cab. And yeah, so I've got to buy new antenna. So I've got to save up some money for new antenna with a much bigger coax, longer coax. So we are in Lebanon now. I know I'm not really paying attention here. I haven't been in town here to walk around and stuff, but it looks like just by driving by, there's some really cool little shops here. I don't know much about it. So if you're in the area, it's a little bit off the freeway. It's like 14 miles or something, I think, off the freeway. I can't remember. But yeah, it seems to be a neat little town. They've got, most of the fast food places, Rite Aid, of course, Chinese restaurant, and the coveted marijuana dispensary. I'm not gonna go into my opinion on that. To each their own. Don't do it around me, and don't cause an accident because of it. Old Chevy dealer that hasn't been required to update yet. Of course, gotta have a Dutch Brothers. That's a requirement. I know there's a battle going on between Dutch Brothers and Starbucks. But my experience with Starbucks is I went in, and I'm a hot chocolate guy. I don't do a whole lot of coffee. I asked for a hot chocolate, and what they gave me was the most rancid thing I have probably tasted in a very long time. It did not taste like hot cocoa. I couldn't drink it. It was disgusting. Never had that issue with Dutch Bros. It does disappoint me that Dutch Bros sold out. I like the fact that it was a local company. Now it's, on the stock exchange. It's a public company, I guess. Not a fan of that, but as long as the service doesn't change and such, which it doesn't appear that it has. I think the manager and all that stuff, the main guys that were dealing with it, are still there, but the owners have stepped away, I guess. They got Safeway, Taco Bell here, Jack in the Box. I almost said my other term for it. Which it isn't bad language, it's just, Jack in the Boxes, what I get there most of the time is their extreme sausage. It is, I love it. I get, I'm a weird guy. I don't like the processed cheese that they put on fast food items, like cheeseburgers and stuff like that. Well, the extreme sausage comes with cheese, so I take the cheese off and I put an extra egg. So it's 2 sausage patties, 2 eggs, and a hamburger bun. It is so good. I don't eat it as much as I want to, but that's probably a good idea that I don't. And of course, Domino's. It looks like it used to be a KFC, McDonald's, Taco Time. Never been a fan of Taco Time. And we are heading to just up here on the right. We've got the Walmart, and then AA's yard is just kind of right next to it. And then that will be where I end up stopping the video, the live, because I've got to use my phone. I will get this loaded and we'll get back to you guys.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Market Street.
entrance is a little weird.
Take the next right on Market Street, then turn left.
Not quite as weird as it looked on the map.
Turn left, then turn left.
So we are here.
Your destination is on the left.
Alright, so that's it for the live for right now. I will get this all loaded up and get back to you. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. All the subscribers and everything, you guys are amazing. So we'll see you in a bit.